Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
All right, thank you. It is 8 o'clock. It's actually about a half a minute before 8 o'clock. But anyway, it's close enough for me to say this is WOCA Ocala, the source. Get the legal ID out of the way. We can then speak to Galen without having to worry about that clock.
Oh, yeah.
Galen Unald is on the phone to remind us of the importance of donating blood now that we're on the other side of the holidays. Don't forget, it's pretty important to maintain whatever kind of commitment you've made to the process of...
We're listening to
donating blood.
Yes.
I thought I had everything taken care of.
I know.
There's always something that I forgot. All right. Good morning, Galen. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm reluctant to bring up the tipping thing, but have you ever worked as a tipped employee?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No. But it's that's kind of an interesting. Well, I did not know that they were taxed. I did think that they had to claim that because it is income.
Yeah, that I did.
But
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought about, if I give them 5, that means a quarter goes to the government. So, I never thought it in those terms, but I knew they had to claim it as income. So.
Yeah, but I guess the part, like after thinking about it and thinking, okay, well, what's fair is fair. If you've got to pay, I've got to pay. Everybody's got to pay. But the fact that they take that job knowing that it might not pay anything, like on a rainy day, for example,
Right.
and then you can't take the money home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's
Now that I didn't know. I didn't know that they couldn't take it home at the end of the day. And I was sitting there thinking about it. And I'm wondering if that's like each business does it differently. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if they pool their tips, then they can't take it to the end when they break up the pool. But I don't know. I had not heard that.
Yeah, well, and again, I'm just reading, and I just do radio shows, so I have no clue either. But it looks to me like that the new ruling says that the employer, the restaurant, has to hold on to it till the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy.
All right.
That is really really weird because I don't know.
Well, and I guess my thinking is, how does that fix anything? However much time it took to come to that decision to make up that law, they took away time from something else they could have been focusing on. How did that actually, make us better as a nation?
Exactly.
Right, and that's an absolutely fair point. And why? Why all of a sudden is this a problem? I guess it's the same thing. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you just did something to do something.
Yeah. Somebody somewhere was saying, I gave that girl a $5 tip, and she should be paying taxes on that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's spend a lot of time working on this one and make a law that nobody will know about until January 2nd.
That's right.
It's silly, and it just goes to show you that the government just does things without what the public perceives as meaningless, and it's like one more burden we have to overcome. So
yeah. All right.
Maybe the people in the restaurant industry knew this was coming and were preparing for it. I don't know. I don't know.
I would love to hear from somebody who knows that. All right.
And then you've got all those restaurants we go to for the sports teams. And those waitresses, like the waitresses at Wing House, they get tipped really well for the sports team.
Which is unfair. I mean, just because you've got a nice cleavage doesn't mean you should get more money.
I wonder about that. I wonder if they make a higher tip day in, day out than, say, somebody like it who works at Mark's Prime, percentage-wise.
Well, not from me. Not that I don't appreciate the eye candy.
View.
Yeah, but Robin knows. We go to that restaurant once in a while, and she knows that my tipping is the exact same everywhere, unless it's my birthday and they're keeping the place open.
And I bet you most people feel that way. And again, as you stated, unless they went really over the top or something. But yeah.
All right, so I have here. Robin was trying to give us a nice segue, so let me go ahead and use it. I was reading this article on Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is a good-looking young man, but he'll never look like a bad boy, even if he is bad. He's never going to look that way.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so he's trying, isn't he?
And for some reason, we as the public don't like that. We like our musicians to be tough. We like them to look like Dennis Rodman. We like them to look like Bruce Springsteen, right?
Name one musician who you think is tough.
Springsteen.
Who?
Bruce Springsteen.
See, I don't consider him tough.
What do you mean by tough?
I don't know. I just don't like. If we were in a fight, I don't think he'd be a threat to anybody.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant look tough. Goodness, I don't know.
They all try to look tough, but they're not really tough.
No, okay. All right, that's probably fair.
Let's take Alice Cooper, right? Alice Cooper tried to be this really, demonic guy. He's like 5'4". I'm pretty sure, my 12-year-old
really?
got a good chance against him.
I thought he was a tall guy.
Well, it means I'm
Mick
taller.
Fleetwood then. Mick Fleetwood was a
There
big,
you
lanky,
go.
scary-looking guy.
Yeah, he's scary.
But anyway, my point is we love to
He
hate
doesn't seem like a scary guy,
Who?
Mick Fleetwood?
Mick Fleetwood, he doesn't sing like a scary guy.
He doesn't sing
even
it.
try to be tough.
He doesn't sing at all. He's a drummer.
Like Billy Idol, right? You remember Billy Idol? With his fishnet shirt.
Right.
He's like 5'8". I could take him.
Okay. All right. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is that we love to hate certain people, and in sports, the same thing is true. We love to hate some.
Absolutely.
So now let's jump into your arena because I don't understand any of these. The Miami Hurricanes are the number 10 most often loved to be hated team.
I'm surprised I'm not much higher.
Really?
These are yes, because I think they're probably dropping because they're not as good as they were in the 80s and the 90s. But in the 80s and the 90s, I mean, if you played them, you hated them, but you loved the way they played because they talk so much trash and they're very brash and they came out of the airplane and wearing fatigues and they invented a lot of the things you see now in the NFL and in football and basketball and the trash talking. They were extremely, extremely cocky, but they backed that up with winning. And they just dominated people.
So we love to hate them.
And and they didn't have a problem with running up the scoreboard. So if they were playing the weak sisters of the poor, they would score 90 points on them and think nothing of it.
Oh,
So that's
Okay. So some people call him Thug U. Is that true?
right. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely classless and.
Thug U.
When they
Thug U.
played Notre Dame,
Oh my
it
goodness.
was the convicts against the Catholics, and it
Oh,
was things like that. So yeah, but they embraced that image, and they really owned it.
All right. So number 9 of the sports teams we love to hate, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the hockey team. What's the story?
Yeah. Well, again, back in the day, when they had Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr on their team, and they were just so good.
Yeah,
for a
they're so
while.
good.
And and Jaromir Jagr was he's still in the NHL, by the way, but he was young then. But Mario Lemieux he would whine the whole time he was playing and then score 3 goals.
He would whine.
It was amazing.
He would whine.
I personally did not like him. So
Okay, so you love to. So are you on board with these two? So far you agree that we love to hate these guys?
yes, absolutely. As a Florida State fan, yes, I love to hate Miami, and I love it when they're good and Florida State beats them.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Well,
You're so good, Galen.
there's a difference here between the music world and the sports world. Is whereas you might say I might know that people love to hate Bieber. And I'm not a fan, but I'm not a fan. I'm way too old for this even to matter to me. But
yeah.
You should like Bieber. I mean, you're way too old. And
But just listening to me, it doesn't sound that bad. I mean, I don't understand what the big thing is anyway. So everybody loved Willy Wong, and that guy couldn't sing at all.
That's right.
My boys don't like him at all. They hate Bieber. So.
All right. Well, you know how I know that people hate him? Because when Robin and I did the Student Media Festival, I said something about Bieber because it was in the script.
Yeah.
And the audience went, boo! And then I went off script and said, what's the matter? I thought you kids liked this guy.
That's right. You saved it. You salvaged it.
Anyway. All right. San Antonio Spurs is number 8 on the list of sports teams we love to hate.
See, I'm surprised at that high, or even on the list, because they have some really classy guys. I mean, you're like Tim Duncan. I mean, how do you hate that guy? I don't agree with that one.
No, you don't agree with that. Okay. Number 7 is the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, you know why I hate the Buckeyes? It's because their fans are everywhere. I mean, you could go to any place in America, and you're going to find a Buckeye fan, and that Buckeye fan is going to have a flag that's called.
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Galen? He faded.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's gone. There's
Galen,
no
you
dial tone.
faded. Yeah, it looks like you're there, but it doesn't sound like you're there. So
He's probably traveling.
If you can hear us. Oh, no, it disappeared. Maybe he'll go back.
Okay,
But
I hope so. Yeah, this is fun.
It kind of faded off a little bit, yeah. Well, he obviously didn't want to pick on the San Antonio Spurs, but the Ohio State Buckeye. You know, I can understand. By the way, when we get to the number one, I've got something to say about the neighborhood I grew up in New York, because it's a New York team. I think you can probably guess.
Oh, okay. There he is. He's back.
Galen, is that you? I hope.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
good.
back.
Yeah, you faded for some reason.
So you were
I
saying
don't know what
that.
happened.
So you were saying that the Ohio State had fans like in every corner of the globe.
They do, and what's crazy about it is they think they're awesome. They think they're the greatest. They can't win the big game. I mean, they can't win the national championship. But they wave their flags, and and they sing their songs. Now their marching band is probably the best college marching band outside of like the the fan views of the world that they're not even a band anymore.
Okay.
But I don't know. I love to hate them. I love it when they lose.
All right, I'm very curious
I love it when they lose.
very curious if you're going to agree or disagree with the next one. Number 6 on the list of teams we love to hate: the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yes, and because they're so good, and they've won a national title 3 out of the last 5 years. I mean, when you're at that level of excellence, people hate you because they're jealous and envious. And but again, Nick Saban, great head coach. And they'll continue to be good.
Oh wow. Number 5 is the Los Angeles Lakers.
By the way, the Crimson Tide fans have this sense of entitlement that is unmatched in any sports. That's for sure.
Is it because of Bear Bryant?
They can win anything.
Is Bear Bryant part of that reason?
Bear Bryant is a big part because he started it all there, and he started their winning tradition. But it's been that way forever. And I've said this a million times. It truly is a religion in the state of Alabama. I mean, people worship the Crimson Tide.
Wow.
So who hates them? The other 49 states?
Everybody else in the SEC. And not only that, I mean, on a national level this year, when they lost to Auburn, most people still believe that Alabama is the best team in the nation. And they could have possibly played for the national title, even though they lost to Auburn, and people were in an uproar over it. But if you look at it objectively, they are the best team in college football. So,
all right, the number 5 on the list of teams we love to hate is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, the Showtime, they have all the celebrities on the sidelines, and they've won for so long. They're all glitz and glamour. And again, it goes back to being jealous of them. And yeah. All
right. So a lot of the reasons are applicable to almost all the teams, right?
What do you mean?
In other words, the reasons you're giving us that some of these teams are not liked is the same as for other teams. You could kind of
Oh, sure.
Jealousy seems to show up in a few of these.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sure the Yankees are number 1. Because when you're dominating...
Well, you're right, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Yankees is number 1. All right.
Of course it is.
Right.
I mean, I could have told you that.
I know, I knew. I
If you
figured.
could do this internationally, Manchester United would probably be number 1 in soccer. So it's... Yeah, I mean...
Okay. Number 4 is the New England Patriots.
Same reason. Okay, here you go. You have what most people consider the best coach in the NFL, and he hates talking to the media. And so people who aren't Patriots fans look at that as if he's, being childish and rude, and they have a quarterback who's married to a supermodel.
Why hate that? Why would we love to hate that?
It's jealousy. Have you seen his wife?
Tell me her name, because I think you told me to look her up one time.
Giselle Bundchen.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
Yeah, you told me to look her up, and I looked her up while you were talking, and yeah, she's very
She's
pretty.
outstanding.
The crazy thing is she's more famous than her husband, in the rest of the world. In obviously in the United States, Tom Brady's a household name, but in the world, all over the world, she's a she's a supermodel.
She's the superstar, huh?
She probably makes more money than him, too.
She does, and it's not even close. That's what's great.
The last three. Number 3 is the Dallas Cowboys. I was surprised to see this because I always thought everybody loved the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, here's why people hate them. They created their own title that says they were America's team, and it stuck.
Oh,
They have and they did that back in the 70s. They have the largest stadium. Their owner, Jerry Jones, is way over the top and tries to buy championships. And they, they're mediocre at best. They haven't made the playoffs in like 5 years. But the Cowboy fans are everywhere. They're much like Buckeye fans for the NFL. They're everywhere. And they're not very good. But the Cowboy fans think they're the best team in the NFL year in, year out. So,
those are the cheerleaders.
And is there somebody on their team also that is dating or married to a beautiful woman or something?
I'm sure there are a lot of them, but they're
Okay.
not,
All right. So it says something about him.
I mean, like Tony Romo, he's dated different models, and Jerry Underwood, I think he dated for a while. But he's a quarterback. He's an average quarterback.
And does he
He's not that good.
Does he get choked up during the interviews? Like he gets
Does he get what?
choked up, like he almost cries?
I'm sure he does.
Almost
I don't
cries.
remember that.
what a wuss.
That's what it says. It says the quarterback has a penchant for choking up during the big games, during interviews.
No. All right. Not that. He has a history of choking and just not performing in the key situations. I don't think I've ever seen him cry on.
Ah, okay, all right. Not choking up. Okay. Well, they should remove the word up then from this.
That's right.
All right, the last two. You already know number 1, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Number 2 is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yeah. Again, it kind of goes into the same category. They always think they're the best. They're too good to belong to any conference. They always talk about how they have God on their side. Watch the movie. It's true. When Florida State lost to Notre Dame in 1990,
Because God loves us more.
I think it was 1991, and they won, and it was awesome. I've been. It's one of the. If you ever get an opportunity, it's a phenomenal place to watch a football game, because there is so much tradition at Notre Dame with Duke Rockne and everything else. They haven't been good. Last year they went to the national championship game and got blown out by Alabama. Didn't even belong in the game, but because they're Notre Dame, they get a lot more credit and respect than they truly deserve. And I think that's why people hate them.
All right, now number 1, you already figured it out. It's the New York Yankees, the team that most people love to hate. But before you tell me everything you have to say about the Yankees, I want to tell you one thing, and I don't know much about sports, but I know the block I grew up on. If you walked from house to house on that block, even today, and you knocked on the door, and the person opened the door, and you said one thing, Mets or Yankees, right away I can tell you they'll just close the door on you.
Oh.
They don't even want you to say the word Yankees on their doorstep.
Oh.
Because they are all Mets fans. Don't ask me why, but I can guarantee you that I know this for a fact because all of them pretty much are Facebook fans, friends. Uh-huh. So I see that and that was the attitude when I was a kid. And it's still the attitude today.
Wow.
So there you go. So the Yankees, it's unlike the Alabama story where everybody in Alabama likes the Crimson Tide. Mm-hmm. For some reason,
well, they also like they have a feud between the Auburn Tigers. So
okay, but here, like in Ocala, it seems like the New York team to love is the Yankees. But there in the neighborhood I grew up in, I'm not speaking for all of New York or even all of Long Island, just that little neighborhood, the Mets are the ones that everybody's rooting for.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know how well they've done, but
yeah, but you're friends.
Well, and I could tell you probably why. Because you're either and people are going to get mad at me. But if you grew up in New York, you typically follow the team that your father does, right? And so the Yankees are the Yankees. I mean, they're the benchmark for every other franchise in every other sport across the world. They've won 27 world championships. They're the most recognized sports team in the world. Babe Ruth played for them, and George Steinbrenner. They're way over the top. They run their business appropriately, right? I mean, they overpay because they have lots and lots of money. They have their own network. There's a lot of reasons to hate them, but if you're a Yankee fan, every reason that I say why you hate them is why you love them.
Same reason, yeah, that's funny.
And the reason Mets fans have it tough because they're always second fiddle to the Yankees. And so because of that, they become very hard. And you have to, they're constantly on the defensive for their team. So the Yankees will spend $200 million on one player. And the Mets therefore go, okay, well, we got to go buy somebody. And they end up getting a second-tier guy who's not very good and never lives up to the potential.
Oh, man. Can you imagine being that guy?
That's the life of a Met fan. I mean, their stadium is people believe that the stadium is subpar. They're 15 miles away from Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, which is state-of-the-art in every way, and Citi Field, which is where the Mets play, is considered Citi Field, but from what I hear, it's a better place to watch a game and everything else, but the prices for tickets are half. But Mets fans, you have to be hard. Whereas Yankees fans, all they have to do is say, we got 27 titles. And it shuts everybody up.
Which is why you hate him. Okay, so you love to hate him.
Say, the Mets come back with, well, we had Tom Seaver. We won in 69. We won in 86. The worst thing about it is the Mets have that stupid Met mascot with a big baseball on its head.
Oh man, they would hate. The fighting words right there. Galen, don't walk down my old block and say that.
Oh, the Mets fans think it's the greatest thing in the world.
I know.
The rest of the baseball world looks at you and laughs.
I know.
It's one of your things, and people are hardened.
I know.
Mets fans. Look, the Red Sox up until 2004. I mean, the world was dark and gloomy, and it was just a matter of how we were going to lose, not if we were going to lose. It was just a matter of how far we could go down before our hearts were ripped out.
Oh man!
So now that we've won 3 and in this century, and the whole world is beautiful because the Yankees didn't even make the playoffs, and now they're trying to keep up with the Red Sox.
That's too funny.
It's great. So if you do this story again in 3 or 4 years, then the Red Sox will hopefully be on the list.
Could be, yeah.
By the way, if you're a fan on this of one of these teams, you want your team on this list. You know why? Because every team you mentioned, except the Mets, every team you mentioned are winners, and their teams win. And that's one common denominator that you have to have. For example, who the heck hates the Detroit Lions? I mean, the Green Bay Packers can't even really hate the Detroit Lions because they're not that good. They haven't won a title ever. So, I mean, how do you hate them?
I got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah. All right.
You have to win.
Let me go to the phone, Galen. We got somebody waiting. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for being patient.
Yes, good morning and Happy New Year, everybody out there. Probably the greatest individual sports person that was a love-hate field had to be Muhammad Ali with his big show-off in and out of the ring, and then, of course, when he became a draft dodger. And you either really hated or loved that guy, and I mean, it's right to the top.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah, true. Yeah. But, of course, now that he's older, we all love him. We don't, that love-hate thing. Yeah.
And that's one of those sports relationships that's really evolved. When he first came out and he decided he was going to jail, he was vilified. I mean, they took his Olympic medal from the guy. And now he's the most popular athlete in the world.
Yeah.
One of now, but it's amazing how society now views him compared to they did 40 years ago.
Yeah, well, I think once a person gets a little bit older, you start to change. A new generation has come up, and suddenly, it's almost like with the late night talk show lineup. Everybody hated everybody after Carson. Everybody hated Letterman, and everybody hated Leno, and everybody right.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to soften up on them, and be more respectful to them.
Well, and like my father completely changed his mind on Muhammad Ali. Over time, because in the early 70s, he couldn't stand Muhammad Ali. And now, people respect the fact that he went to jail and lost everything because he just didn't believe in the war.
Yeah. Right.
He changed his religion and his name. My dad always hated him. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why.
After that.
But now you look back and you're like, you know what? He could have gone the easy path and celebrated his religion personally and privately.
Do you know who I think is never going to be forgiven, though?
He decided to change all that.
Do you know who I think is never going to be forgiven? I think Jane Fonda never will be forgiven.
No.
And nor should she. She caused people to die.
No, I'm with you.
There's documented evidence that she caused more American soldiers to die. Muhammad Ali just decided he wasn't going to go to war.
Right.
And he sat in prison. Jane Fonda went to Hanoi and met with the enemy.
So if there's a person that we love to hate more than her, is there? Or is she the top of the list?
But that's just it. I mean, nobody hates her anymore because they're apathetic because she has great fitness videos. And she married Ted Turner. And it appalls me every time I see her face that people just give her a pass on all that.
Yeah, and a lot of people behind you on that.
I think she should have been branded as a traitor and shot, but that's me.
I could tell you a story. We had, we have good relationships with the publicists we work with, and sometimes we'll take a guest who we really are reluctant about because the publicist has other great guests for us, but we had a publicist that pitched a pro Jane Fonda book. In other words, just kind of trying to explain everything, and so everybody will love her again. Huh?
There's nothing to explain.
And we turned it was a big book.
Yeah.
They sent us the book first, and I had to tell her no. I said that my listening audience will not like this interview.
Yeah.
And so I had to tell her no, the publicist that is, and so yeah.
Yeah, you did tell her no.
Just one of those things. And I knew that in advance. I thought, I don't even want to try this in this show. I just don't even want to try it. I know better. All right. So things we love to hate. But Bieber?
Bieber, yeah.
I don't understand. He's just a kid. What's the matter? Or what's the girl's name that's on the
Miley
ball?
Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. What's the matter? Just a cute girl. What's the problem? Why is everybody mad at her? Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun. I knew that would be a good topic. Yesterday you missed a good one. What was yesterday? The bowl games.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
I woke up and I thought it was a Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I really did. I really did. So I apologize.
That's okay. We were talking about the bowl games. So
We thought you partied.
did you watch the bowl games yesterday? Any of them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watched quite a few. Watched UCF win. That was a fun game to watch. Watched the Rose Bowl. I missed the parade. I know. I'm surprised we didn't talk about the parade, thank goodness. But I did miss the parade.
All right. We kind of used up all that time. Robert, we need a segue so we can get on and Galen can go get some people to give blood.
Well, there's only one team that people love to love. They don't ever hate this team. This is Life South Community Blood Centers, because Life South is always in our community making sure that lives will be saved. So go to Life South, donate 1 unit of blood, and potentially save 3 lives.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
By the way, if I could just interject one thing before we go to the Bloodmobile. Robin's daughter, Shannon, gave me a calendar. An on this day in history calendar, and I meant to use it for this segment with you, Galen, because on this day in history in 1983, Ken Anderson from the Cincinnati Bengals completed 20 consecutive passes to set an NFL record for passing accuracy.
Wow.
That'll be
great.
That'll be a new little bit we do with Galen. Reading from the calendar that I got from Shannon.
She was so excited to give that to you.
She knows we do a radio show.
Yeah.
Little bits of information always come in handy. All right, Gail, where is the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile is at the Walmart in the Villages, the one right there on Bahia Road.
And how did you do? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I think I came in third, which is exactly where I wanted to be, third
Wow.
or fourth. So Yeah, we did really good. It was a fantastic day. Thankfully, it didn't rain the way it did every other day.
So nobody loves to hate you for winning. You third place.
No, there are a lot of people that love to hate me.
Me too. I think I got a few of them.
Yeah.
All right. And if you can't get over there, then you can go to Silver Springs Boulevard and donate blood at the Life South building right there next to the Cascades. If you were in Dunellen, Robin, where would you go?
Right next door to Sweet Bay.
Sweet Bay.
Oh, I like that.
I'm so used to being on the phone with you, Galen, that the other day, I guess it was 2 days ago,
Yesterday with Dan.
Dan did the segment Fun with Joe, and he was on the phone. And so at the end of it, I felt like I was saying goodbye to you.
Yeah.
And so he felt it obligatory to say, Sweet Bay.
That's right.
All right. Well, you have a great day. Thank you, Galen.
All right, and everybody, Happy New Year, and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Go donate blood. We'll take a little break. Mike Huckabee coming right up.
This is the Huckabee Report for Thursday. I'm Mike Huckabee. Before we get too far into 2014, let's look back at how we got here. That's next.
So you need to find a plumber to replace your water heater. The question is, where are you going to look? Phone book? That got tossed in the recycling bin as soon as it hits your doorstep. Web search? Not unless you feel like sorting through an endless list of search results. And you're certainly not going to pay a subscription fee to get access to some list. What you need is someone to refer a local pro you can trust. What you need is home.homeadvisor.com. Home.homeadvisor.com gives you free access to a network of over 85,000 background check service professionals who have the expertise to help you with all your home repair and remodeling needs. It's the fast, free, and easy way to find top-rated local pros who've been rated and reviewed by homeowners like you. That's why over 25 million homeowners have trusted Home Advisor to find the quality home improvement professionals they're looking for. It's why you can too. Visit home.homeadvisor.com to find the service pros who can bring your home improvement dreams to reality. That's home.homeadvisor.com.
There's no question that the biggest story of 2013 was the Hindenburg-style arrival of Obamacare. Just as Republicans seem to have blown their chances of retaking the Senate or even holding on to the House thanks to the government shutdown, along came the greatest reminder why we can no longer trust Washington with anything more complicated than a Frisbee. We discovered that the nation that put a man on the moon in 10 years suddenly couldn't build a website in 3. In fact, if NASA in the 60s had been as riddled with cronyism, incompetence, arrogance, and political maneuvering as the Obamacare website was, we would have been lucky to put Neil Armstrong on the Coney Island. Obamacare is a story that didn't just rock 2013. It's going to keep impacting us well into the future. In what ways? Well, that depends on how it impacts next November's elections. One thing that's so maddening about the Obamacare fiasco was that it was so predictable. Not how bad the website would be. That surprised even Obama's biggest critics. While the website got the press, the real disaster was quietly unfolding across America as millions of people learned that the policies they'd been told they could keep were being revoked.